Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Report: Heat could make decision on next generation, Jimmy Butler's future as soon as trade deadline. The Miami Heat reportedly could make a decision on the future of the franchise and star Jimmy Butler as soon as the trade deadline in the 2024-25 season. Butler is under contract for the 2024-25 season and has a player option for north of $50 million in the 2025-26 season. However, he could opt out of his deal next summer and become a free agent. The Heat have yet to agree to an extension with Butler, leaving his future with the franchise up in the air. The NBA appears as set as it has been for years. In September, the Sun-Sentinel's Ira Winderman wrote, "As for your point, the Heat are positioned to play out Jimmy Butler's contract and still have ample time to then move ahead with the franchise's next generation. Now it just comes down to a matter of the timing of such a transition, which could be by February's NBA trading deadline or by Jimmy Butler's opt-out decision and that late June deadline. It is a proposition that likely will remain fluid, with an extension seemingly not even a talking point on either side." Butler, 34, has been with the Heat since the 2019-20 season. He led Miami to the NBA Finals that season and in the 2022-23 campaign, although the franchise did not win either series. Still, the Heat have enjoyed a ton of success with Butler on the roster, making the Eastern Conference Finals in 3 of his 5 seasons and the playoffs in each of the 5 seasons. Last season, an injury knocked Butler out for Miami's first-round playoff series against the Boston Celtics, and it ended up losing the series in just 5 games. During the 2023-24 season, Butler averaged 20.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 5.0 assists per game while shooting 49.9% from the field and 41.4% from three-point range. He's still one of the game's better players, but if he and the Heat can't come to a long-term extension, it may make sense to move him at the deadline rather than risk losing him for nothing in free agency. The Heat could also wait and hope that they can work a sign-and-trade deal with Butler in the offseason if he decides that he doesn't want to return to the franchise. Miami has some young pieces: Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, Jamie Jaquez Jr. and Nikola Jovic, that it could look to build around in a post-Butler era. As Winderman noted, the situation remains fluid, but there is no guarantee that Butler is on the Heat beyond the 2024-25 season. Hopefully, the two sides can work something out that will either leave Butler in Miami or will put the Heat in an advantageous spot to build a roster without him down the line. Karen Butler: "It's a crime that Bam Adebayo hasn't won Defensive Player of the Year." Bam Adebayo has been one of the premier defenders in the NBA in recent years, and Miami Heat assistant coach Karen Butler believes he should have won the Defensive Player of the Year award by now. Butler appeared on SiriusXM NBA radio recently and expressed his disappointment at Adebayo not having won the award. "When you talk about versatility, when you talk about two-way defender, I mean, it's a crime that he hasn't won Defensive Player of the Year," Butler said. "With just the observation, the eye test. I know statistically you can look at a lot of different things, and he's top 5 on all that stuff, too. But when you come to games and you see what he do and how hard individuals got to work, the calories that are burned to get a shot on Bam," Butler continued. "From guards, playing 1 through 3 to the 4-5 men, nothing comes easy. He's just different." While Adebayo has gotten some recognition for his defense, having made one of the all-defensive teams in each of the last 5 seasons, he has never come close to winning DPOY. The 27-year-old finished 3rd in voting this past season, but only got 3 first-place votes, compared to 72 for Rudy Gobert, who won the award. That 3rd-placed finish was actually Adebayo's best ever, having finished 4th and 5th twice in the 4 seasons prior. The voters have clearly regarded him as one of the better defenders in the league, but just not the best one. As for why that may be the case, I can point to multiple reasons. For starters, Adebayo's raw numbers aren't exactly eye-popping. This past season, the three-time All-Star averaged 19.3 points, 10.4 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 1.1 steals, and 0.9 blocks per game. Those are good defensive numbers, but they don't scream DPOY. The other big reason is that the Heat have never been a truly dominant defensive team with Adebayo. He is a big reason why they've been very good on defense, but I don't believe there was a season where I considered the Heat the clear-cut best defensive team in the NBA. So, when the numbers don't catch the eye and the team isn't exactly the most dominant defensively, you get a case like that of Adebayo's. I'd argue he is the most versatile defensive big in the NBA with his ability to guard all 5 positions, but some big factors are working against him when it comes to winning DPOY. Adebayo has expressed his frustrations with never being in serious contention for DPOY on numerous occasions. After Gobert won the award earlier this year, Adebayo spoke about being overlooked for DPOY. A point guard, Marcus Smart, got it over me, a center, Rudy Gobert, got it over me, a power forward, Jaren Jackson Jr., has gotten it over me. The goalposts move for me, to certain degrees. It's me and a lot of undrafted dudes, and we still have a top 5 defense. These other guys have all NBA dudes around them. Some of it is, they don't really care about us, and that's fine. I think they should pay attention to consistency because being top 5 DPOY, I think I have the longest streak of all defensive teams, so the goalposts move for me. Adebayo does deserve more credit for elevating the Heat on the defensive end despite not having too many big names next to him. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's ever going to be enough for him to win DPOY. Journalist mentions Jimmy Butler as a possible target for the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are looking for a new All-Star to partner with Stephen Curry following the departure of Klay Thompson. However, the franchise's attempts to acquire Paul George and Lauri Markkanen this summer were unsuccessful. With the NBA trade deadline extending until February 6, Golden State has plenty of time to explore the market and identify new potential targets. The Warriors' roster should be strong enough to keep the team competitive, and if they exceed expectations, the front office could take a more cautious approach until the trade market moves again next summer. According to Michael Pina of The Ringer, the Warriors still have a few options if they decide to pursue a star talent before the start of the new season. Pina mentioned Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram and Jimmy Butler as possible targets. Closing successful deals is never easy, and it makes sense for Golden State to evaluate what it has before making any hasty decisions, Pina wrote. But by losing PG and Markkanen, the Warriors kept their options open. If another star becomes available at a reasonable price for all parties involved, Jimmy Butler? Brandon Ingram? Julius Randle, they can make a compelling offer and once again become a serious competitor. Among the 3 stars mentioned, Ingram would likely be the most affordable, although the Warriors face questions about the value of his next contract. Randle and Butler are harder to evaluate, but both were mentioned in trade rumors over the summer. Any decision the Warriors make must be well-informed. A trade for an all-star level talent would require trading one of the team's young talents, with Moses Moody being the most likely to be traded. The Warriors' front office has been reluctant to part with its future talents in recent months. Therefore, the team must be sure that the acquired player will truly elevate the team to championship contention, otherwise, the deal could be considered risky. Golden State is in a delicate position. They need another star to fight for the title, but they can't afford to make a wrong decision that could jeopardize the final years of Stephen Curry and Draymond Green's careers. The team has been oscillating between competing and reforming for years, and now it needs to make a decisive bet. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.